If you are watching this video, it is not by chance. There is something in you that resonates with this energy, something that has already awakened and is searching for answers. You feel that you are different, that you see the world in a unique way, and sometimes that leaves you feeling isolated, misunderstood. Make no mistake, this is not a coincidence. You are a chosen soul. But what exactly does that mean? A chosen soul is not someone who considers themselves superior to others. On the contrary, it is a consciousness that accepts the responsibility of going through more intense, more challenging experiences to uplift not only itself, but all of humanity. It is as if you signed a cosmic contract before you were born, agreeing to face spiritual tests that most people will never experience. Chosen souls carry striking characteristics. They are extremely sensitive to the energy of environments and people. They walk into a place and immediately feel whether the vibration is heavy or light. They have a sharp intuition that rarely fails, even when logic suggests otherwise. They feel a deep connection with nature and the universe, as if they are part of something much greater. How can you recognize when you are being spiritually tested? The signs are clear to those who know how to observe. First, the events seem orchestrated by the universe, not random. Second, they attack your main vulnerabilities and fears. Third, they always appear when you think you are making spiritual progress. It's as if the universe says, "You think you're ready? Let's see. Let's explore the 7 hardest tests that only chosen souls face." Each one of them is a journey in itself, a death and a rebirth, a descent into hell followed by an ascension into heaven. Get ready, because recognizing these tests is the first step to transcending them. You were living your life normally when something changed. It wasn't gradual, it was as if someone flipped a switch inside you. Suddenly, the world you knew started to collapse before your eyes. Not physically, but energetically. You began to see beyond the masks people wear, beyond the lies society tells us, beyond the illusion that everything is okay. This is the first spiritual test, the painful awakening of consciousness. The awakening happens when your soul decides it can no longer pretend to be asleep. You begin to question everything. Why do I work at something that doesn't fulfill me? Why do I maintain superficial relationships? Why do I feel this constant emptiness, even when I have everything that should make me happy? These questions are not philosophical. They burn inside you, demanding answers. It's devastating because you realize you spent years, sometimes decades, living a life that wasn't yours. Spiritual loneliness is perhaps the cruelest aspect of this test. You feel like a stranger in your own world. Conversations about soccer, celebrity gossip, complaints about work, all of that loses meaning. You try to participate, but it's like watching a movie you can no longer connect with. People around you remain trapped in dramas that you now recognize as empty distractions from the true essence of life. Your relationships begin to fall apart, not because you want to hurt anyone, but because you can no longer be who you used to be. That person who pretended to be okay when they weren't, who laughed at jokes they didn't find funny, who took part in empty conversations. That person died at the awakening, and the people around you feel it. They feel that you've changed, that you're distant, that you're no longer the same. Some try to bring you back to who you were, but you can no longer pretend. The awakening also brings intense energetic sensitivity. You feel people's emotions as if they were your own. You walk into a space and are immediately hit by a wave of energetic information. Crowds become unbearable. Noisy places drain your energy. You need silence, nature, energetically clean spaces. This sensitivity is not weakness. It's the awakening of your spiritual gifts, but at first it feels like a curse. You will doubt your sanity. You'll think you're going crazy. You'll question whether this sensitivity is real or if you're making it all up. This happens because our society does not recognize energetic reality. There are no manuals for dealing with spiritual awakening. There is no medical support for those going through ego death. You feel completely alone in this process, as if you were the only human being experiencing this. The initial confusion is overwhelming because you no longer know who you are. Your identity was built on social roles, external expectations. masks you wore to be accepted. Now that all of that has fallen away, you ask yourself, who am I really? And the answer does not come quickly. You go through a period of complete disorientation, as if you are learning to walk again. This is the crucial moment. Many people give up here, go back to their old lives, pretend nothing changed. But you, as a chosen soul, know there's no going back. Awakening is irreversible, and the only way out is through it. The second test comes after the initial awakening. You think the worst is over. You believed that now that you've awakened, the spiritual life would be a path of light and peace. But then something even more intense happens. You enter the dark night of the soul. This is the second test, and it is devastating. It's as if the universe has completely abandoned you. All the spiritual connection you once felt disappears. You can no longer meditate, no longer feel the divine presence, no longer receive signs from the universe. The dark night of the soul is different from common depression. It is a deep spiritual desolation where you feel that you have lost not only contact with the divine, but also with yourself. It's as if you tasted the nectar of spiritual connection, and now it has been taken away from you. You feel abandoned by God, by the universe, by your spiritual guides. Prayer feels useless. Meditation doesn't work. You are completely alone in the densest darkness you have ever experienced. During this period, all your deepest traumas and wounds come to the surface. Childhood memories you had forgotten, emotional pain you thought you had overcome, primal fears that were dormant, all of it explodes inside you at once. It's as if your soul is doing a full cleanse, bringing to light everything that needs to be healed, but you're not prepared for this intensity. You feel like you're being torn apart from the inside. The feeling of divine abandonment is the cruelest of all. You, who discovered spirituality, who felt the presence of the sacred, now feel completely disconnected. You cry out for help, but it seems like no one is listening. You look for signs, but the universe is silent. You try all the spiritual practices you know, but nothing works. It's as if you were thrown into a spiritual black hole where not even the light of hope can penetrate. The purpose of life becomes a torturous question. You question everything. Why am I here? What's the meaning of all this? Why do I have to go through so much suffering? And the answers don't come. You feel like you're living a nightmare you can't wake up from. Friends and family don't understand the depth of your pain. They offer superficial advice that only worsens your anguish. Think positive, they say. It'll pass, they assure you. But you know they have no idea what you're going through. The temptation to give up is overwhelming. You think about abandoning the spiritual journey altogether, going back to a normal life, pretending none of this ever happened. At times, you even consider giving up on life itself. The pain is so intense you can't imagine how you'll bear it. You feel like you're carrying the weight of all the world's suffering on your shoulders. And in a way, you are, because chosen souls absorb and transmute the collective pain of humanity. But here's the truth you need to understand. The dark night of the soul is not punishment, it is purification. It's the moment when all the impurities of your consciousness are burned in the fire of transformation. You have not been abandoned by the divine. You are being prepared for an even deeper connection. The universe does not hate you. It loves you so much it is polishing you like a rough diamond. Resisting this phase is useless. The only way out is through it. You must completely surrender to the darkness. Trust the process, even when you can't see an inch ahead. The dark night of the soul is the portal to your spiritual rebirth. Now you enter the third test, and this one is particularly cruel because it attacks your basic human need for connection and belonging. Sacred isolation happens when the universe systematically removes all your support networks. It's not you pulling away from people, it's people pulling away from you. It's as if an invisible force is organizing your life so that you are completely alone. Relationships end for no apparent reason. Friends stop reaching out. Even family members become distant. This isolation is not accidental. It is a divine intervention to force you to find your inner strength. While you had people around, you leaned on them, sought external validation, depended on others' approval. Now, the universe is saying, you need to learn to stand on your own. You need to discover that everything you're looking for outside yourself already exists within you. It's a painful process, but necessary for your spiritual development. You lose your social support dramatically. Those friends you thought would always be by your side disappear when you need them the most. Work colleagues become distant. Even romantic relationships fall apart without logical explanation. It's as if you've become invisible to the world. You try to reconnect, but your attempts are ignored or rejected. You feel like you have some kind of contagious disease that drives people away. Family support also deteriorates. Your family, who should be your safe haven, can no longer understand you. They see your spiritual changes as something negative, as if you've lost your way. Some may even blame you for being too different. Family gatherings become uncomfortable. You feel like a stranger in your own family. The person you used to be made sense to them. The person you're becoming scares them. Physical loneliness becomes your constant companion. You go days, sometimes weeks, without meaningful conversation. Your phone stops ringing, your social media goes quiet. You find yourself talking to yourself just to hear a human voice. The home that once was a sanctuary becomes a silent prison. You feel like the last person on earth. This loneliness is different from common loneliness. It is existential, spiritual, deep as an abyss. But here's the crucial difference. You learn the distinction between loneliness and divine isolation. Loneliness is painful. It is lack. It is emptiness. Divine isolation is sacred. It is necessary. It is transformative. You begin to realize that in the absence of external voices, you can finally hear your own inner voice. In the absence of social distractions, you turn inward. In the absence of external approval, you learn to approve of yourself. Isolation becomes a temple where you meet yourself. You discover that you can be your own best companion, that you can have deep conversations with yourself, that you can comfort yourself in difficult times, that you can celebrate your victories even when there's no one to share them with. The inner strength you always sought in others finally emerges from within. Sacred isolation is not punishment, it is initiation. It is the universe teaching you that you are never truly alone because you carry divinity within. When you master this lesson, you become unshakable because you know that regardless of who enters or leaves your life, you will always have the most important connection, the connection with yourself and the sacred. The fourth test is brutal in its simplicity. The universe uses pain as a tool for purification. Suddenly, losses begin to happen in cascade. You lose your job for no apparent reason. Financial problems arise out of nowhere. Important relationships dissolve. Loved ones become ill or die. Health problems appear. It's as if the universe is systematically removing everything you thought you needed to be happy, and with each loss, you feel like you're being torn apart inside. Physical pain can also manifest. Unexplained illnesses arise. Chronic pain develops with no apparent medical cause. You go from doctor to doctor, but none can explain what is happening. This happens because your body is processing not only your own traumas, but ancestral traumas, collective traumas. You are like a spiritual sponge, absorbing and transmuting pain that isn't even yours. Every cell in your body is being recalibrated to a higher frequency. Material losses are especially devastating because our society teaches us to find security in possessions. You lose your house, your car, your savings. Everything you built over the years disappears. You find yourself in situations you never imagined. No money, no home, depending on others' generosity. Your pride is completely destroyed. You feel like a complete failure. But that's exactly the intention. To break your identification with the material world. Emotional relationships are also ripped away from you. People you loved deeply leave your life suddenly and painfully. Some die, others simply disappear. You wonder why the universe is being so cruel. Why is it taking away everything you value? It's as if you're being tested to see how far your faith can endure. Each loss is a stab in the soul, but also an opportunity to discover a strength you didn't even know you had. Leave a comment now. What was the greatest loss that transformed you spiritually? Addictions and destructive patterns are also attacked during this time. Any behavior you use to numb yourself, alcohol, drugs, compulsions, toxic relationships, completely loses its effect. It's as if the universe cut off all your escape valves. You're forced to feel everything intensely, with no way to escape. Some people break at this point, but chosen souls find an inner strength they never knew existed. Pain becomes your most effective teacher. Through it, you learn true compassion, not mental compassion, but the visceral compassion of someone who has truly suffered. You develop deep empathy for all beings who suffer. Your spiritual arrogance is completely destroyed. You can no longer judge anyone because you know in your own skin what it feels like to hit rock bottom. Pain humbles you, breaks you, but also purifies you. Gradually, you begin to understand that pain is not your enemy, but your alchemist. It's burning away everything that is not essential, not authentic, not love. Like gold in fire, you are being refined. Every tear is washing impurities from your soul. Every loss is creating space for something greater. Pain becomes sacred when you understand it is the price of transformation. And you realize you wouldn't trade this process for anything, because through pain you discovered your true nature, indestructible, eternal, divine. Now you enter the fifth test, and this is the most psychologically challenging of all, the direct confrontation with your ego and your shadows. After going through so much suffering, you think you know yourself deeply. But the universe has a cruel surprise for you. It forces you to face the darkest aspects of your personality that you've hidden, denied, or projected onto others. It's as if a cosmic mirror is placed in front of you, reflecting everything you don't want to see about yourself. Your darkest aspects begin to emerge uncontrollably. Anger you didn't even know existed explodes at inappropriate times. Envy, jealousy, wounded pride, the need to control, all of it surfaces. You find yourself having thoughts and feelings you consider unspiritual. You feel ashamed because you believed you had already overcome those lower traits. But the truth is, you had only suppressed them, and now they are demanding to be recognized and integrated. The dissolution of the false identity is terrifying. The entire image you built of yourself, the good, spiritual, evolved person, begins to crumble. You realize that many of your virtues were just well-crafted masks. Your generosity had elements of needing approval. Your spirituality had traces of superiority. Your compassion hid a need to feel needed. It's a humbling process that completely destroys your self-image. The social masks you've worn your whole life become unbearable. You can no longer pretend to be okay when you're not. You can no longer be polite when you're irritated. You can no longer hide your vulnerabilities behind a facade of strength. It's as if all your defense mechanisms have stopped working. You feel naked and exposed to the world, unable to maintain the performances you used to carry out automatically. The internal battle between ego and soul intensifies dramatically. The ego fights desperately to stay in control, creating dramas, conflicts, and crises to draw attention to itself. It whispers lies about your inadequacy, your inferiority, your need to prove your worth. Meanwhile, your soul tries to emerge, but the ego resists violently. It's a civil war within that leaves you exhausted. Some days the ego wins, others the soul manages to express itself. You live in a constant emotional roller coaster. You discover that you projected many of your shadows onto others. The traits you most hate in people are exactly the traits you deny in yourself. The arrogant person you criticize reflects your own denied arrogance. The manipulator you despise mirrors your own unconscious manipulative tendencies. It's a shocking discovery to realize that the outer world is a perfect reflection of your inner world. You stop judging others because you recognize yourself in them. The process of integrating polarities is the most challenging of all. You need to accept that you are both light and shadow, both angel and demon, both victim and perpetrator. You must embrace your anger along with your love, your darkness along with your light. This doesn't mean becoming a bad person, but becoming a complete person. When you stop fighting your shadows and embrace them with compassion, something magical happens. They transform. Anger becomes personal power. Fear becomes wisdom. Envy becomes healthy motivation. The ego is not destroyed, but tamed, becoming a servant of the soul instead of its master. This integration is what makes you truly whole and authentic. As you overcome the previous tests, something extraordinary begins to happen. Your spiritual gifts awaken, visions begin to emerge, prophetic dreams come true. You develop psychic abilities you once thought were fiction. You can sense people's energies, foresee events, have deep insights into complex situations. It's exciting and frightening at the same time. But here's the danger. With power comes the temptation to misuse it. The sixth test is subtle and dangerous because it doesn't look like a test. It looks like a reward. Finally, you have something that tangibly sets you apart from others. You are no longer just someone who feels things. Now you know things. You can help people in ways that were once impossible. You can access information others can't. This power is seductive, and the ego, which was being tamed, finds a new way to inflate itself. If you've made it this far, it's not by chance. Your soul is guiding you to remember something fundamental about who you are. The book of the soul is the key that will open all the doors of your consciousness. You will discover how to recognize and interpret the signs the universe has always sent, learn safe techniques to access your Akashic records, and fully activate the unique gifts your soul brought to serve the world. These are 7 portals of transformation with guided meditations, practical rituals, and 3 exclusive bonuses. Your soul has been asking for this evolution for a long time. The link is in the first pinned comment. The spiritual ego is more dangerous than the common ego because it disguises itself as virtue. You begin to feel special, chosen, superior to the unawakened. You develop a subtle arrogance, believing that your spiritual perceptions are always correct. You start judging others as less evolved or still asleep. This spiritual superiority is toxic and can destroy years of real spiritual progress. It's a trap that captures many sincere spiritual seekers. The temptation to use your gifts for personal gain is immense. You discover that you can influence people, manipulate energies, predict outcomes. The temptation to use these abilities to get what you want, money, relationships, status, is almost irresistible. Some justify it by saying, if I'm doing well, I can help more people. But that is a dangerous rationalization. The universe gave you these gifts to serve, not to serve yourself. Spiritual isolation can increase even more at this stage. You feel so different from normal people that you stop relating to them completely. You only want to be around other, awakened ones like you. This spiritual elitism is a golden prison that hinders your evolution. True spirituality doesn't separate you from humanity. It connects you more deeply with it. If your spiritual gifts are making you less human, you're going in the wrong direction. The responsibility that comes with spiritual gifts is overwhelming. Every word you speak, every energy you emit, every thought you have impacts the collective field in an amplified way. You can no longer afford to be careless with your emotions or thoughts. It's as if you're an antenna constantly broadcasting to the universe. This responsibility can be paralyzing if you don't embrace it with humility and grace. The true victory in this test comes when you learn to use your gifts with absolute humility. You recognize that you don't own these abilities. You are merely a channel through which the divine expresses itself. You use your gifts solely to serve the greater good, never for personal benefit. You keep your feet on the ground, remembering that with great power comes great responsibility. You understand that your gifts don't make you superior to anyone. They make you more responsible for helping elevate the collective. When you master this lesson, you become a true servant of the light, using your spiritual powers with the wisdom of one who understands that all real power comes from love and is used to spread more love in the world. We now arrive at the last and most difficult of all the tests, the supreme sacrifice. After going through all the other challenges, you think you finally understand how the spiritual game works. But then, the universe presents you with a choice that goes against everything you personally desire. It's a situation where you must choose between your personal will and the divine will, and the two are in complete opposition. This is not a small sacrifice. It's the total surrender of everything you thought you wanted in life. The sacrifice can take many forms. It might be giving up a relationship you love deeply because you know it's not serving either of your spiritual growth. It might be turning down a dream career opportunity because your intuition tells you it will lead you away from your true purpose. It might be accepting the responsibility of caring for a sick relative when you had other plans for your life. Or it could be something even deeper, sacrificing your own personal happiness for the well-being of many. Total surrender to the divine will is terrifying because it means admitting that you don't know what's best for you. Your whole life, you were taught to fight for your dreams, to pursue your goals, to make things happen. Now the universe is asking the opposite, to completely let go of control and trust that there is a higher intelligence orchestrating your life. It's like being an actor who always insisted on writing their own script and now must fully trust the director. Letting go of personal control goes against all the ego's survival instincts. It screams, protests, creates catastrophic scenarios about what could go wrong if you don't stay in control. What if you get tricked? What if you get used? What if you end up losing everything? These voices are deafening. But you've reached a point where you know your ego, even well-intentioned, has a limited view. You need to trust something greater than your small mind. The symbolic death of the old self is the most painful part. All the dreams, plans, expectations, and desires that defined who you thought you were must die. It's like watching a funeral for your own future. You mourn the life you won't live, the dreams you won't realize, the experiences you won't have. It's a deep and real grief because a part of you is truly dying. The part that believed it knew what was best for itself. But here's the mystery. The moment you make the supreme sacrifice with genuine love, something miraculous happens. The universe doesn't just compensate for your loss, it transforms it into something much greater than you ever imagined. That relationship you sacrificed makes room for an even deeper love. That career you turned down leads you to a path much more aligned with your purpose. That dream you released manifests in a way you could never have planned. The supreme sacrifice is not about losing. It's about gaining access to a level of existence where synchronicity and magic become your daily reality. When you stop fighting the current of life and allow yourself to be carried by its flow, you discover that it always knew where it was taking you. The supreme sacrifice is, in fact, the supreme liberation. You free yourself from the prison of your own limited desires and open yourself to infinite possibilities that only divine wisdom can envision. In this moment, you are no longer a human being trying to have a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being having a human experience fully surrendered to the sacred. Now that you understand the 7 most difficult spiritual tests, we reach an important point, understanding what your true mission is as a chosen soul. All the suffering you've endured, all the tears you've shed, all the pain you've transformed, it all had a greater purpose. You didn't go through these experiences just for your personal growth. You were forged in the fire of transformation to become an instrument of healing and elevation for all of humanity. The ultimate purpose of the tests was to prepare you to serve at a level that transcends the ordinary. You can't guide someone through a path you've never walked. You can't comfort a pain you've never felt. You can't offer real hope about a darkness you've never faced. Each test you've overcome has added a new tool to your spiritual toolkit. You now possess a wisdom that doesn't come from books, but from lived experience. You have a compassion that isn't theoretical, but visceral. You carry a light that isn't artificial, but authentic. Your mission is to use your experiences to help others who are going through the same tests. When you see someone in the dark night of the soul, you recognize it immediately because you've been there. When you meet someone in sacred isolation, you can offer real hope because you know there is a purpose behind it. When you witness someone battling their shadows, You can guide them gently because you remember your own struggle. You become a bridge between suffering and transcendence. The responsibility of being a beacon of light is immense, but you were prepared for it. Your presence becomes medicine for wounded souls. Your words carry an authority that comes only from someone who has walked through the fire and emerged transformed. You don't need to promote yourself or place yourself on a pedestal. The authenticity of your journey speaks for itself. People are naturally drawn to you because they feel that you understand, that you've truly been through something deep. Your life becomes a living testimony that it is possible to transcend human suffering. Not because you avoid pain, but because you've learned to dance with it. Not because your life is perfect, but because you found meaning in its imperfection. Every person you touch with your presence, every soul you help awaken, every heart you console, all of it expands waves of transformation across the planet. You now understand that you were never alone on this journey. There is an invisible network of chosen souls spread around the world, each fulfilling their part in the elevation of collective consciousness. You are part of a greater plan, a cosmic mission of planetary transformation. Every test you've overcome, every lesson you've learned, every wound you've healed contributes to the healing of all humanity. And here is your call to action. Acknowledge your journey, honor your process, embrace your mission. Stop hiding, stop minimizing your experience, stop doubting your worth. The world desperately needs the light you carry. Your story of transformation is a gift to humanity. Your scars are trophies of spiritual victory. Your presence is a living reminder that no matter how dark the night may seem, there is always a dawn waiting to rise. You are a chosen soul, and now it's time to consciously choose to be the light this world so desperately needs. Humanity is waiting for you. It's time to shine.